My name is James Hill, and it's Gerontology 550, a case study of Rockingham County Nursing Home. I'm presenting with Carol, Sam, Sonia, and Divanette. The the problem that's going on in Rockingham County Nursing Home is an issue that came about because a patient uh, was sick, uh, was sent to a hospital, subsequently died. But in the process, they sent the patient to the hospital to resuscitate her, um, even though she was gravely ill. And a backstory was is that the patient didn't want to be there. She actually went into a depression, being at Rockingham County Nursing Home, and she sort of just spiraled down from there. And so the doctors, the nurses, they haven't, the doctors and nurses take an oath, and the key portion of that oath is to do no harm. And so they made a decision to send the patient to the hospital so she could be resuscitated. And from that, we have a lot of problems that came about. And Miss Waters was tasked with coming up with a decision for a DNR policy for the facility. There are many reasons to have a DNR policies, and there are a lot of reasons not to have a DNR policy. Um, DNR policy for this particular facility, and I guess for many other facilities around the nation, it takes away that coldness, because people feel that if you're going to allow someone to sit there and die, um, without trying to at least give them some type of medical attention, that's just heartless. Um, but a DNR policy does state that the person is permanently ill, and that resuscitating them will cause more harm than good to the patient, then you don't do it. But reasons not to have the DNR policy that I'm sure Ms. Waters will run into is that having such a policy, um, it can open the hospital, well, the facility, Rockingham, up, to bad publicity. Also, also employees who work there, they may feel that they can't work in a facility that they're not trying their best to save a patient's life. And then once again, when you go to speaking of the public relation front, you have to also realize that some people feel, because they understand that Rockingham Community Nursing Home is actually switching to trying to getting more paying customers, and I guess some say of more or less wealthy clientele. And so some people may feel that they're allowing other patients to die so they can have those beds filled. And a reason to have a written DNR policy. A DNR policy will take the hospital, well, the nursing facility, out of the legal realm. Because if a client was to die, and they're trying to attempt a CPR on them, then and especially they have an unqualified person who doesn't know how to do CPR, and then it allows the hospital not to be legally responsible, because I'm not sure if you may know that Rockingham Community Nursing Home does not have enough qualified nurses and staff trained in CPR, and some of the individuals may survive after resuscitation, but remain in a vegetative state. And Also, once again, it takes the nursing home facility out of being named in a lawsuit. Uh, in the process of doing CPR or whatever life-saving method that is used, then the hospital does not have to be open itself up to a lawsuit. Um, for me, I believe an alternative proposal should come into play because the nursing home facility hands are tied. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Because you have some family members who may want the policy in place, and you may have some who don't. And also, you have to speak with the client, the patient themselves, because if they come there under the mindset that they want every method to be taken to save their lives, then the hospital have a policy of do not resuscitate. They have a confliction here. And also, Miss Waters is in a situation that she's actually seeming to have a lack of power. She may be an administrative, but the power also lies in the hand of the staff and the doctors, because if many of them all of a sudden decide to quit, then all of a sudden now they're understaffed because of having the process of having a DNR policy in place. Um, you know, now, so one could say, well, they're abusing their power. I guess you have to use what you have in your hand, and we can look through the chapters. I believe it's chapter 5 that spoke of lack of power and abuse of power for individuals. But Miss Waters' situation also says the necessity of power and empowerment. The nursing home must empower her with the tools to come up with a decision that's going to be beneficial not only for the nursing home but for the patients at hand. And so I believe she would need to also get a lot of feedback from the patients, their families, and the doctors and nurses and the other staff members there. Because you can put a policy in place and people don't agree with it, they leave. Or you don't have a policy in place, so then you must provide CPR, and you don't have the staff trained to do this particular technique. Now you open yourself up to the possibility of a lawsuit. So it's a conundrum that I'm sure that you know clear heads and that family members and patients alike and nurses and doctors can come together and come up with the correct policy that's going to be beneficial for all. Thank you.